Shout out to those of you who have reached out to me personally, either to go check out your favorite restaurant or to check out your restaurant. I promise I'll get to them when I can, they're on the list, but for now, let's do this shit. Now here's a place that I would never consider visiting if it weren't for this show. In fact, I don't think there has ever been a point in my life where I willfully sought out and procured a smoothie. But here we are. Tropical Smoothie Cafe is an establishment that looks like it managed to uproot itself and escape from an airport terminal. A place that looks like it isn't just chasing the white lady demographic, it is the white lady demographic. So how was it? Well, I got a chicken Caesar wrap and it was hot.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, haven't you ever found yourself enjoying a nice Caesar salad and thought, gosh, this is good, but I'd really like it if these bits of romaine lettuce were hot. Like, lettuce leaves are fine when they're crisp, but what you really want is for them to have the texture of a wet Band-Aid. It came with a side, and I opted for the maple kissed sweet potatoes, which promised a maple glaze roasted sweet potatoes and tasted like nothing, and for good measure, were horrendously undercooked and in some instances, completely raw in the center. Cool, so things that typically aren't cooked are, and things that should be cooked aren't. But what about the smoothie? You can't judge a place if you don't get what's in their name. Well, like I said, smoothies aren't something I've ever thought to seek out, and now that I have, I can articulate why I don't. I got their mango magic smoothie, and while it tasted like mango, it also very much tasted like water and nothing. So my impression of smoothies is that they fail at tasting like what they are. Smoothies are failure unless someone proves to me otherwise. If you want to enjoy fruit, just eat fruit. Don't eat fruit watered down with frozen water. I'm sure Tropical Smoothie Cafe is for some people, and if they enjoy it, more power to you. But to me, they're like Panera Bread in that they are trying to be something they are not capable of being. The end result being food you would expect in a hospital cafeteria while being charged exorbitant prices for failure. 2 out of 10. Previously on... Then we left, fuck you. Now for the exciting conclusion of... Okay, I might be a little biased going in, so let me get this out of the way. Zaza probably has the best pizza in Conway, with an asterisk next to it because that is a shockingly low bar to clear. In fact, if they were in Georgetown, Delaware, they might not even crack the top 5. But Zaza's carries the crown here by virtue of having a wood fire oven and doing a decent thin crust. But in spite of this, whether or not they are actually worth visiting is a whole other story. Let's start with the not pizza. We got the Cobb salad with the steakhouse blue cheese and it was remarkably bland. You hear the word steakhouse blue cheese and you probably expect to taste the tang of blue cheese. Nope, unbelievably weak. Now let's move on to the pizza because despite me saying it's pretty good, I still have some problems with it. I got the chili honey sopressata pizza that came topped with salami, peppers, jalapeno, hot honey, garlic, mozzarella, Parmesan, arugula, and tomato sauce. Now, allow me to veer off on a little rant for a moment. If you don't know, hot honey has been a food fad for a few years now, starting with the brand most people know, Mike's Hot Honey. Mike is a Brooklyn hipster douchebag who had chili-infused honey on pizza in Brazil and brought it back here to the States, via a bunch of hipster douchebag pizza spots in Brooklyn, New York. It was literally created to go on pizza, and here's the thing, I don't think it actually works. And I'm a pineapple on pizza defender. I vehemently oppose telling people what they should enjoy with their pizza, but for me, the best things to put on pizza are things that bring something new to the experience. But when I taste hot honey on pizza, I stop being able to taste the cheese and the sauce in a way that not even pineapple and ham achieve. And that's not me dunking on Mike's hot douchebag honey either. Take a baguette and line it with prosciutto, brie, apple, and a fat drizzle of the stuff, and it's incredible. I just don't think it works on pizza. But getting back to Zaza's, they really are good, both at making pizzas and creating interesting and innovative flavor combinations. Arugula on pizza is great, as is jalapeno. My only other complaint is that the slices of sopressata should be cut smaller because when you take a bite, they drag everything else off the slice, leaving you with a slice of chapped ass to finish. Would I go back there again? Sure, but the price point and previously reviewed service levels would give me pause. A tepid 6 out of 10. Been a while since I reviewed a barbecue spot, so let's get back out there and try Hog Pen BBQ. Now, from what I understand, the less open a barbecue spot is, the more legitimacy it has. Open 7 days a week? You fucking suck. The best barbecue joints are the ones that you hear about on a Tuesday, but they won't be open again until March 14th, 2 years from now. Hog Pen BBQ is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and fuck you. We got a couple meat plates and opted for the ribs since that seemed to be their forte. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Hog Pen's ribs are spare ribs, or perhaps St. Louis style ribs. Is that right? Definitely much bigger than what you get at Whole Hog and closer to what I've had in Memphis. And more tender too, though they are also a little bit fattier. And as much as I love ribs, I'm not eating large globules of unrendered pork fat. Also, I'm no pitmaster by any means, but the seasoning on these ribs was wildly inconsistent, with one bite being perfectly seasoned while the next one was bare. Maybe mind your P's and Q's when shaking that shaker, Hog Pen. But overall, I'd say I prefer these ribs to Whole Hog, which made my top 10 orders in Conway list. The sausage, on the other hand, was a different story. Whole Hog sausages taste like they were made in-house, while Hog Pen seemed store-bought. Now, I don't want to be sued for slander because I could be wrong here, but their texture is super tight, compact, and not very well seasoned. In fact, they taste like giant, tough hot dogs. So, if they are being made in-house, which most barbecue restaurants do, they are, at the very least, not being made very well. Also, similar to Whole Hog, Hog Pen sides are pretty mid, though having hush puppies gives them a slight edge. Overall, if you're a rib guy, Hog Pen is for you. If you're a meat sampler guy, Whole Hog would still be for you. But on the Conway totem pole, I'm giving Hog Pen a slight lead. More authentic than the rest for everything but sausage. A solid 7 out of 10. In life, we make choices that reflect our state of inner being. When you see someone running, you see them chasing a better version of themselves. When you see someone collapsed into themselves on the sidewalk, high on opiates, you see them desperately pursuing an escape from this reality. But beneath that existential hell is where you find the man who has been to Subway. You got Subway? Is everything okay, Tom? Look, I know things haven't been going very well for you, but you don't need to punish yourself like this. Subway locations in Canada have seen a sharp decline since 2016, when medically assisted death was introduced, which many believe is far more humane. There was a time when I would unabashedly hit up a Subway for their garlic bread meatball sub, but that was when A, I was in college, B, I was broke, and C, you could get a sandwich for about $5. Subway rose to prominence with their $5 footlong, which is now a $9 footlong? Get fucked! What makes Subway so perplexing is how not only do they make foods they have no business making, they also have the nerve to make them right in front of you. For comparison's sake, you go into Jersey Mike's and order a cheesesteak, and they took uncooked steak and cook it on a grill right where you can see it. When you go into Subway and order a cheesesteak, they pull out a tiny cardboard boat of steak that was cooked at some time in the past and throw it in the microwave. And then, not only do they charge you about the same amount of money, they do that while using the slogan, "Eat fresh." Shameful shit. Anyway, I got something called the Hot Shot Italiano that offended me on about 47 different levels. Get fucked, Subway. 1 out of 10. There's this tier of ultra-trendy regional fast food joints like In-N-Out and Whataburger that I've been hearing people squawk about for years, but this is my first time actually trying one of them. The Whataburger just opened up here, and while the wait wasn't too bad on our first trip, I can see that location being a major pain for the businesses around them. They're in this cramped little area behind a couple hotels and the Subway, which, if you're Subway, holy shit, you may as well pack up and leave town now. I mean, who in their right fucking mind would look at those two and think, yeah, what I really want is some limp, slimy vegetables that were cut 14 hours ago and month-old cold cuts on bread that was frozen this morning. Anyway, let's start with a comparison to Whataburger's nearest actual competition, Freddy's. Now, Freddy's is fine, but their greatest sin is that long ago they bought into the hype of a food trend, the Smash Burger. The Smash Burger has been around a long time, but gained wider pop culture status around 10 to 15 years ago. In theory, there's nothing wrong with a super thin, super crispy burger, but in practice, and I mean in fast food practice, it fucking sucks. It's dry, usually under-seasoned, and tastes like someone scraped all the burnt residue off of an overworked flat top onto a bun for you to enjoy. So with Whataburger setting up shop right across the street, Freddy's could be in some real trouble here. Okay, first order of business. Whataburger has fries, and you are a fucking idiot if you order them, because Whataburger has onion rings, and they are, no bullshit, some of the best onion rings I've ever had. You know those onion rings that when you bite into them, the entire onion inside side comes along for the ride. Whataburger doesn't. Every bite comes off clean, which means every one was perfectly cooked. Now some zig for my zag. Whataburger is known for their spicy ketchup, and I couldn't tell the difference. It just tasted like ketchup, so I don't know what the hype is. We got their spicy chicken sandwich, and it might just be the best spicy chicken sandwich in Conway. Normally it would be well behind Popeyes, but unfortunately Conway doesn't have a Popeyes. We have a dirty, slow, poorly run, absolute shithouse of a restaurant that calls themselves a Popeyes, but they are a disgrace to the name. Anyway, I also got the patty melt, which I've heard many a tale of its wonders. And while I'll say it's a damn good burger, with 2 decently cooked and seasoned burger patties topped with a pile of nicely fried onions, it was severely lacking in one department, the melt, which made this otherwise top-tier burger eat a little dry. Come on, get the cheese out, Whataburger. As far as the service goes, they had a team hustling in there, so the wait was pretty okay, but they still have a bit of work to do to get things organized. If you're going to have 2 drive-thrus and the person working the outside lane is collecting payment, give them a tablet to swipe credit cards on. As a customer, having a complete stranger run up to my car demanding money, taking my credit card and just running away is a little, as the kids say, suspicious a whack-a-burger. What the fuck? But anyway, I'll have to come back here and review their breakfast to provide a fuller picture to my massive YouTube following, but I'm giving Whataburger a high 7 out of 10. That's all for this go-around. Catch you in the next one, and I'll see you when I see you.